Hello, boys and girls. Welcome back to another edition of Crush Lusher Television. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to work on some free response questions because it looks like the AP is just going to be 2 free response questions and that's it. You're going to upload your work just like you do now. And so the more we practice between now and May 12th when it goes down, the better you're going to be. So let's start with this one. So this is one from 2014, question 6. So this means no calculator. If it's a question 1 or 2, it would be calculator, but this one's no calculator. So I want you to try this, pause the video, see how much you can get done, just like it would be like an actual AP, then unpause it and see what you got compared to what I got. Okay? Ready, set, go. All right, so first things first, part A. Find the slope of a line tangent to the graph f at point 1, 2. So slope is dy dx, so that means I'm just plugging in 1 for x and 2 for y. So 1 for x and 2 for y. Let's see what we got. Here we go. So I plugged in, here's the derivative right here. So I plug in 1 for x and 2 for y, 1 for x, 2 for y, and I got 1 minus 2 times 1, which is negative 1. Boop, got it. All right, cool. Next thing we have to do the slope field of these 9 points. X is not going to be 0 because you put x as 0 here, you're going to get undefined slope. So that doesn't work. So that was why it's blank anyway. So this is what I got for all of those. I'm not going to go over all of this, so you should be able to knock this out really easy on your own. So with the point negative 1, 0, the slope was 1. And for negative 1, 1, the slope is 0. Bam. And for negative 1, 2, the slope is negative 1, like that. And for 1, 1, the slope is 0. For 1, 0, the slope is 1, like that. So these are sort of mirror images, these part right here. And for 1, 2, I got negative 1 for my slope. And for 2, 0, I got negative a half for the slope. Right there, negative a half should be probably a little bit shallower. And then for 2, 1, I got 0. Anytime you have 1 for y, the answer is going to be 0 because 1 minus 1 is 0 right there for that second part of the term. So 2 and 2, I got positive a half right there. So that's what I got for the first part. So that's all my work for it. Hopefully you got the same thing. But the real big thing is see if you can get the last part. This is where all the points lie. So if they have something like this on the AP, you got to make sure you practice and make sure you knock out these differential equations. This is called differential equations if you want to go practice it somewhere else. So go look at in your notes, etc. Okay, so this is like x men y's, guys. So I'm going to times dx on both sides. So that's going to mean dy equals 1 minus 2 over x squared, y minus 1 dx. That's what I got. So I got my x's on one side, now I need my y's on the other, so I'm going to divide by y minus 1. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite this as 1 over y minus 1 dy. So to separate those two terms. Equals 1 minus 2x to the negative 2. I'm going to bring that up because I know I'm going to have to find the antiderivative eventually, and so I'm just going to do that right now so it's easier for me. Dx. Now I separated, boom, now it's time to integrate. Separate, integrate, solve for c, solve for some more, you know how to do it. So the integral of this is going to be natural log because, look, the numerator is the derivative of the denominator. So that's like u prime over u, that's what I'm seeing. So the derivative of this is 1, and so boom, it's like this. So that's a natural log, absolute value of y minus 1 equals. Okay, so this is going to be, the antiderivative of 1 is x. The rule is you have to add 1, so now I'm doing this part here, this second term. So add 1 to the exponent, which is negative 1, and then divide by negative 1, divide by the exponent. So negative 2 divided by negative 1 is 2x to the negative 2 plus 1, which is negative 1 plus c. Cool. So I have natural log of absolute value of y minus 1 equals x plus 2 over x plus c. All right, so now before I solve for c, I know this is one that's going to be a natural log one, so this one's going to have that tricky part that we always talk about where you have to do the exponent rules on this side. Watch what I do. So raise them both to the power of e, and that eliminates the natural log. So absolute value of y minus 1 equals e to the x plus 2 over x plus c. So this all becomes an exponent. But we know that this can be written as e to the x plus 2 over x times e to the c. Because this times this is the same base, you just add up all the exponents. And so this is going to be another constant. It's going to be the same constant. And so this is going to be absolute value of y minus 1 equals c. They use a capital C because it's going to be a different number. Like if this were 2, e to the second power is not 2. So it's just a different number. So that's why I have a different c of a capital here. Same thing. E to the x plus 2 over x. There you go. All right, so now I can figure out what c is going to be, this capital C, because I know that f of 1 equals 2. So this is x, this is y. So y is 2. I'll plug that in here. 2 minus 1 equals c times e to the x is 1. So that's 1 plus 2 over 1. So 2 minus 1 is 1 equals c e to the 1 plus 2, which is 3, e to the third power. Cool. Then I'm going to divide by e to the third power. And I get c equals 1 over e to the third. There you go. All right, cool. So we're almost there. So I got absolute value of y minus 1 equals 1 over e to the third times e to the x plus 2 over x. All right, so that's a lot right there. So we're almost there. So I need to figure out. So this is, if I eliminate the absolute value, that's going to mean it's plus or minus on this side, because I have a positive or negative answer to get the distance away from 0, which is absolute value. What do I use the positive or negative? Look at the initial condition. Y is positive, so I'm going to use just the positive version. Cool. Now I got to add 1 to finish. And so y equals 1 over e to the third times e to the x plus 2 over x plus 1. There we go. Cool. Questions? If you want to clean this up a little bit, this could be y equals e to the x plus 2 over x over e to the third plus 1. And when you have the same base, you're actually subtracting the exponents. So it could be y equals e to the x plus 2 over x minus 3 plus 1. That would also be an answer. Cool. All right, so you have how many points you got out of all of this. Good work. This is worth 5 points, and the slow field is worth 3 points. So 5 plus 3 is 8, and then this is worth 1 point here. So tally up your points, see how many you got, and good work. If you need to do it again, go ahead and do it again. Laters. Good work, everybody.